All right. Hello, everyone. It is great to see everyone. I'm so happy and excited to start this webinar, and it's amazing. Just a second. Let me. All right. So hello, everyone. My name is Sneer Rozenfeld, and I'm the CEO of Cyber 2.0. I'm very happy and excited to start this May 2025 Cyber 2.0 webinar. This session is recorded, so we will be able to share it with other colleagues and friends after the presentation is done. We're going to have a great webinar today, and we're going to have with us, and I'm very happy to see my good friend, Mr. Doron Sivan, which will be here with us today. So we're going to speak today about what you don't know does hurt you. Now let's speak about it and see what we can do about it. And let's start this getting on the road. So before we begin, I would like to thank my colleagues. I would like to thank the dear people that may help make those webinars being like a tradition each month. We continue having the webinar. First of all, I would like to thank Yana Hefer, my VP Sales, for inviting everyone, for making sure that this webinar commences, and for making sure that everything will succeed here. Thank you so much, Yana. You're a great asset, and we appreciate everything. I would like to thank Tanya Sarel, the Chief Operation Officer at Cyber 2.0. She's behind all the technological development, everything you see here, the presentation, everything you will see. Thank you so much, Tanya. I'm happy, and we'll hear him later on today, Mr. Erez Kaplan, the CTO and one of the founders of Cyber 2.0. Thank you so much, Erez, for being with us. Thank you for being the inspiration you are. We are happy, and we look forward to hearing what you got to say today and for the presentation you're going to give us. I would like to also thank Guy Tesler, the VP of Business Development in the USA. Guy is a great friend. He's taking care of all the US customers in Latin America. It's great. Thank you so much, Guy. And we are so lucky and fortunate and honored to have Mr. Doron Sivan, the CEO of Madsec, with us today. Doron will be here, he's here already, and he will be sharing with you everything about cyber attacks and what Madsec does. You will be happy to hear from him. Hi, Doron.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's get this presentation started. All right, so the way we see it is very, very interesting. Recent things show us that everything smart is a target. In recent times, we see that people are connecting more and more devices to the webs. We see a lot of interesting things and a lot of innovation coming up. We live in a very exciting area where everything speaks with everything, and we see a lot of changes within networks. But we must remember one thing, and we're going to speak about it today. Every smart thing is a target. Every device you connect to the network is a target by hackers, and even every innovation can create new opportunities and way for us to move forward. It's still every new innovation, everything we connect to the network is a target by hackers. Now let's see what's going on in Israel. Let's give you a bit of an update what's going on. So there's a significant increase in cyber attacks since the start of the war. Israel experienced a 2.5-fold increase in cyber attacks since October 7th. We've seen all sorts of attacks coming up. No one is immune for that. No one is bulletproof for that. We've seen a lot of things coming on. We see data theft, disruption, interface corruption, DDoS attacks, influence campaigns. We see all of those attacks coming up. And it's very, very interesting, and we're going to explore them. But let's see a little bit about the challenges we are facing today at the cyber market. Well, the challenges in the cyber market is very interesting. First of all, we have a decrease in workforce. There are not enough CISOs. There are not enough cyber analysts to analyze and start understanding what's going on within the network. And we need to make sure, that we have the right personnel. We don't have enough cyber analysts, and more than that, there are more attacks coming up, and we need to prepare for the coming challenges while we move forward. And we need to protect multiple assets on global scales. Companies today have multiple assets in various locations, and they need to protect all those assets. So there's a decrease in the human force, there's an increase in cyber attacks, and of course, there are multiple assets for us to protect. Now, AI is here, and AI is amazing. We all see AI, we all work with AI, we all embrace AI. We know ChatGPT, we know Gemini, Claude, Sora, Suno, all sort of AI, and it's doing amazing things for us. It does documentary writing, and it does customer service, and it's checking everything it can do. But it's very interesting because before we even started adopting it and using it, hackers started using it. Now, what do? Well, they use the AI to increase viruses, to increase attacks, and of course, to form new ways of attacks. Now, let's explore that for a second. While 5 years ago, if a hacker wanted to release a virus to the world, he had to understand and learn computer science. He had to write down a malicious code. He had to test it. He had to research and find weaknesses within operation systems or other software for him to succeed. Now, today, by using AI, it's very, very interesting because hackers tell the AI to do it for them. Now, if a hacker writes a code, he can give it to the AI and tell the AI, make me 1,000 variations of that malicious software. Now, this is very, very disturbing because if until 5 years ago, you had single viruses coming up. Today, we have so many viruses coming up due to AI that can increase it furthermore. Now, we must understand what we are dealing with. When we use ChatGPT, it's very, very interesting because ChatGPT has moral boundaries. We cannot ask ChatGPT how to hack a car or how to hack someone's computers because it has moral boundaries. At the beginning, we used to fool ChatGPT and ask him, what if I wanted to hack a car, how to do it? But they became smarter, and ChatGPT, Claude, and each AI engine has their own moral boundaries. Now, think about it. When hackers started using those, they took the ChatGPT, they took the AI engines, and they removed the moral boundaries from those AI engines. Now, what did we get? Well, this is very interesting because we got an AI engine that has no moral boundaries. We can ask him how to attack someone, how to penetrate a car, how to attack someone's computer. What are the weaknesses of my competition in the business, and how is the best way to make damage for them? And by using ChatGPT or the AI engines that are corrupted without boundaries give you something terrible, something very interesting, but something very terrible. Now let's explore some of the brothers that ChatGPT recently we saw on the dark web. Well, we heard about WormGPT and FraudGPT. This is one of the brothers that ChatGPT got after removing the moral boundaries, and you can see them on the dark web. You can even have a pilot with them. You have even customer service for them, and you can buy them for $60 per month over the dark web, which is amazing, and you can have 30 days trial for free. Now, what is WormGPT? Well, WormGPT is a tool designed for creating sophisticated malware codes. It can write the code for you. It can do the QA for it. It can find the weaknesses. It can scan the network. For example, you can tell WormGPT, I want to attack this customer. This customer is using ESET antivirus, CrowdStrike EDR, and I don't know, Checkpoint firewall. And you give him all the information, and the WormGPT will create an attack for you, designated to bypass all those defense systems, finding the weaknesses, scanning them, and doing whatever it needs to penetrate those networks. Now, this is a whole new game part because today you can be a hacker by service. You don't have to study computer science. You can buy WormGPT through dark web and start attacking everyone. This is very disturbing. Now let's speak a little bit about FraudGPT, the other brother. It's amazing. FraudGPT is basically a tool creating for doing phishing attacks, social engineering, impersonating people, impersonating human-like behavior, and you can do a lot of interesting things. Now, those tools, and there are many others, I'm just focusing here on two of them, but those tools basically lower the barrier to the entry of the cybercrime world. Each person that can buy them over the dark web can be a designated hacker. And this is very disturbing, and we need to start understanding that these things are operational, they are live, and we need to start working with them and understanding how they are working. Now let's explore a bit about the recent cyber attacks that we've seen and see how we can do it. And of course, at the end, we will also show you. So last December, Christmas, the holidays, Hanukkah, everybody knows Cyber Monday and holiday season and all of those. Well, Visa's MasterCard reported a huge increase in fraud attempts and phishing attempts and impersonation attacks, trying to impose as Visa or as selling customer through Cyber Monday or Black Friday and so on, trying to sell to customers products through the season, and those was malicious. That was not right. Now, we also seen something new that is called deepfake impersonation. Now, what is deepfake? Well, you can see me now. My name is Sneer, and you can see me over the web. Now, during COVID-19, we all embraced Zoom, Teams, video conferencing. We all embraced them by ways of working with people around the globe, managing your teams, managing your teammates, managing your employees, managing your customers, and so on. We use Zoom, Teams, any other video conference application that you might use. Deepfake impersonation means I can speak with you, but by using deepfake impersonation, the AI engine, I can change my voice, I can change my look, I can change the background, and I can change myself that I will be speaking with you as if I'm Michael Jackson or if I'm Donald Trump. And we've seen it happen because a sophisticated AI-powered deepfake attack targeted Senator Ben Cardin from the US. where attackers impersonated a foreign official during a video call to discuss sensitive political matters. We cannot trust the video conferences we're currently hosting with our customers, our friends, our colleagues, because we don't really know who is the guy behind the Zoom. We see what the AI or what does the computer chooses us to see. And this is very, very interesting. Moving forward, just this week, we read about steelmaker Nucor factory in the US. Now, this was on the 14th of May. Nucor Corp is a steel metal factory. And a cyber attack that penetrated it, well, it basically made them close systems for a couple of days. Now they're attacking everyone. Now we haven't seen the results of the attacks because everything is so quiet. Because when you get a cyber attack, you don't want anyone to know about it. But again, this can close factories. For this time, it happened for like 3 days, and they're still monitoring the network. Now let's speak about a live incident that I recently saw. This is a live incident. This is the hacker attacking the heart. Everybody knows that the weakest link in the chain when it comes to cyber attack is our employees. Our employees are the weakest link in the chain. Now, this is something that happened to one of the customers. A global organization which has around 1,000 employees, one of the employees got an email saying, hearing invitation, please read urgently. Now think about it. An employee gets an email from human resources saying you are invited to a hearing regarding we're going to fire you or we're not happy with you. Now, they're working on emotions. Hackers are trying every way to penetrate organizations, and they're going all over to try and penetrate the organizations. And this incident, we saw that it was very interesting because the poor employee saw the hearing invitation and he immediately clicked on the link on the PDF to read the file. And what happened? Well, 3 machines were infected within minutes. And luckily, we were able to block the spread of cyber attack within that. But those are sophisticated emotional phishing attacks. We've seen them happen in various places. And it's not just like this. We saw podcasts. Our employees are invited to speak on a podcast, and while he's getting interviewed in the podcast, he's getting a cyber attack through the link. We've seen them invited to fake job interviews. So we must understand that the weakest link is the employees. And this is something, dude, this is something that we are only saying. And we continue to say that, and we've said it for so long. In every given moment, in every company, a single computer might be penetrated by a malicious software. It happens on a daily basis in almost every company. If a hacker wants to penetrate your organization, he will succeed. And you see so many various attacks when they're attacking the emotional attacks on our employees. So if we're going to fail there, what can we do? And this is what we are saying. The main damage of a cyber attack is not a single computer getting penetrated. The main damage of a cyber attack is the spread of cyber attack within and outside organizational network. The hacker doesn't want the employee's computer. He wants the servers. He wants the entire network. And this is the damage we need to start embracing and understand that this is what we want to block. Now, in a world where attack targets emotions, the first computer is compromised, and we need to start adopting new technologies. Here is another attack that was very, very interesting, and it was very disturbing. Erez, I would love to hear your thoughts about this attack, but this is voice spoofing. Everybody heard about the attack that recently happened in Palo Alto, and you know what? Let's review it. Let's watch it. Let's see what happened at the Palo Alto incident. It was very, very interesting, and I would be happy to share it with you. And all right, just a second. Let me work my magic. All right, so let's see what happened with Palo Alto.
Crosswalks hacked in Silicon Valley to play AI voices. A prank in Silicon Valley hacked pedestrian crosswalks to play fake messages mimicking Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Satirical impersonations replaced safety alerts in Redwood City, Menlo
Just a second.
Park and Palo Alto, mocking Musk and Zuckerberg. City officials from Palo Alto said the prank affected 12 downtown crosswalks and probably took place on Friday. Redwood City, Menlo Park, and Palo Alto heard spoofed alerts mocking Musk and Zuckerberg. Traffic signals stayed intact, but voice aids for visually impaired pedestrians were compromised. One spoofed Zuckerberg message joked about pushing AI on users, saying they can't stop it anyway. Other lines mocked topics like democracy and AI slop. Meanwhile, the Musk impersonations were equally outrageous.
We all get the point what happened here, but the most important thing is, well, we need to understand that, first of all, it was a huge threat, meaning, think about it, what they could have done. Think about it, that all the lights in Palo Alto, Redwood City will go green at the same time. What will happen? Now, this could have been a catastrophe, but this was a major threat, and this is voice spoofing, and this is something very, very interesting that we need to start taking care of and giving our attention on it. Erez, do you have anything to add for this?
Yes, I have something that I might add. The point of this attack has multiple...
Can you please open your camera?
Of course. This attack has multiple amplifications that can be heard and implicate various aspects. The first thing that they hacked was the voice. The voice was relatively easy to hack. That's why they hacked it. But the message, the fact that they mimic other people using AI, and this was just the base, just the voice. They can do it in what we call deep fake. And people can actually believe, for example, there is now something that is going over the network and the internet and various social media networks where people, famous people, encourage you to invest in stocks. Of course, everything is fake, but it looks so real. And when President Trump asks you to invest in stocks, you invest in stocks. Of course, it's a complete fake, but it's still on there and the people are being replaced. So the same thing that it is done there, it is done here. And the next stage could be much, much more dangerous. For example, if terrorists will hack into that same voice recognition system and that same voice system, they can issue alert, ignore the traffic light, please move forward, there is a problem with the traffic, and all chaos will reign loose without even hacking the traffic lights. This attack will only go and be worsened and will spread across the network. And the problem is that every child can now mimic the voice of everyone else. And the fake is getting harder and harder to detect.
Thank you very much, Erez. So basically what we are saying is we need to start embracing new technologies because all the types of new attacks are here. We see voice spoofing, we see deep fake impersonation, we see emotional phishing coming over our employees, and we need to start adopting new technologies. We need, and we at Cyber 2.0 start working on it, how we can prevent attack before they even come. How can we protect various critical assets, protecting with one system, IT, OT, and IoT devices. They are all coming together within same networks, and we need to protect all our critical assets. We need to start embracing zero trust technology, and we need to move it forward with it. We cannot trust what we don't know. And Erez will be speaking with you how we harness the chaos engine to do this. Well, this ends up the first part of the presentation today. I would like to thank you so much. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to write them in the chat. I am very honored to give the mic and the floor to my good friend, Doron Sivan. Doron, unmute yourself. We look forward to hearing what you got to say. Thank you so much for coming. You are still muted, my friend.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Doron Sivan, and my lecture will be focused on understanding the malware in the OT environments and how to defend against it. A few words about myself. I am the CEO. Madsec is my second company. I had first company, Kronos, that was the first that make automatic penetration testing. And we won the RSA, and we have some make the exit a few years ago. I wrote several best-selling books in hacking in IT here in Israel. And also I manage the Israel CISO Forum, which brings together about 1,500 CISO here in Israel. Actually, I really like the OT environment. And for me, because in my past, I was electronical engineering and physical, and I found this area most interesting for me. And I have a lot of many years experience in this area, and I want to share with you some of my knowledge about the malware in this area. Okay, a few words about Madsec. This slide. We focus on penetration testing, red team, and risk assessment. We don't sell any solution. We made a lot of projects in OT in all Europe and South America, and in a telecom company, transportation, rainfires, and port and water. So as you know, the regulation became very high in the OT system, like NIS2 and also the 62443, and for the telecom. So this area become more and more under regulation, and organizations need to be prepared to these new threats. Here you can see a slide that was published in the last few months. You can see what were the initial attack vector involved in your OT control system incident. So this slide focus on for where the attacker begin the vector attack. So of course, about 50%, 45% is from the IT to the OT. Because normally, usually most organizations cannot use a diode. It's more complex, and they use some firewall, and there have many options for the hacker to attack, to move from the IT to the OT. Of course, the external remote service, everyone know, you need to give support to the teams overseas, because in OT, you need support 24/7. And what people don't think all the time is the engineering workstation compromise, because it's usually very difficult to arrive to the PLC itself. But if I can to become admin on the engineering workstation, I can change and manipulate the details and send the order to the PLC and change the software. But all of this slide is focused on from where the hacker began the attack inside. It's not my focus on this lecture, because it's the first step. I want to speak about the second step. Second step is when the hacker success to arrive to the OT system. So first, I don't like to say the OT. I don't like to say OT system. Usually the word is ICS. Of course, ICS, and the ICS is divide, or the industrial code divide for 3 areas. One, of course, in the SCADA, organization that many are spread in large area. We have the DCS for more chemical organization, for example, that you need high level of control. And you have the new area, it's BMS, Building Management Service, to attack a building. And then the smart city, of course. The computing that use all these areas, it could be SCADA, it says, is the OT environment. So where you have OT, computing, for me, is the OT area. And when I focus on this, that's mean I try to attack something with any operating system that can use to manipulate. So if you take an hacker that you give him, okay, you are inside my OT system, try to make the damage, usually it will fail, because ICS industry was designed for high survivability. Okay, it's by design. It's designed to be for everything. You have other solution that can repair the problem. So let's say the redundancy. So if you make any small damage, immediately there is other valve, other pump that you begin to work, and the control system, control room will understand the problem and will fix it automatically. So if you think that you can stop something and you make immediate damage, it's a mistake. Most of this organization work, it's called SIS, Safety Instrument System. And according to SIS, you prefer your level of SIF, SIF, and then you have 4 level 1, 2, 4. And for example, trend is 4. So everything is in the trend need to be double and need to be checked, and everything need to be automatically repaired by the alternate equipment. So even if you success to go inside, most of things will not make any damage. And the first thing you need to understand that in the OT, we don't have critical asset, we have critical process. That is a very important things to understand, because when I'm with you now, with my computer, then I print something, it's one step. But in the OT, you have something that when you have step 1, move to step 2, move to step 3, move to step 4. So this is a process. And all the process was designed with survivability, and they have the control center. So if you want to make damage to the process, you have to understand the process. You have to understand the process. That's why it takes more time to make attack in the OT. And also the risk assessment in the OT, it's called ASOP. In this area, we don't think like normal in the IT. We try to understand how hacker can make damage, and I can calculate and I make many things to fix the problem before hacker can do something. Most of the time that you hear in damage in the OT, the damage was in the IT. The hacker, it's a crypt the ERP or crypt the CRM, but not the PLC itself. So that was the atmosphere for a few years. And that to attack OT, you need to be in the country level. And if you see in the next slide, you can see first the first malware, Stuxnet, was designed in the country level. It's a very complex malware, because it's not something easy. It took a few long months, perhaps more than a year, to make all the attack. So everyone understood that it's complex to make damage in the OT. First, you need to understand there is not the same protocol that you are using, something full Modbus. Sometimes you have something in level 1, RS-232, RS-422. You have some level from the PLC. Actually, you don't understand how PLCs work. And most of these secure solutions like PLC have a very small amount of RAM. So it's not easy to inject a malware inside the PLC, because suddenly it will shut down. So the first things you need to understand that there are many factory that everyone develop his solution, and you need to understand how this protocol are working, and how the work move in the OT. So if I want to attack telecom company or I want to attack gas company, it's not the same. It's not the same tactic. So it passed few years that is the problem. And then some tools that government developed came to the free market. And in this case, we have the possibility to use a very smart tool that can give us more sophisticated tools to make some damage. You still need to go inside the organization, okay? Phishing, OT is open to the internet, okay? But after you did it, you need now to make the real damage. And then you try to understand a few things. First, the first step is that the hacker that needs that the malware should be involved in interacting with the physical process. Okay, you need to understand, you need to build on your lab plant, and to try to understand how we can make a physical damage, not to encrypt my computer. Okay, so for example, you want to make a valve erosion. So you want that stop out. This way was in Stuxnet, that to make it unstable working. So the first time you need actually to buy all this equipment in your lab and to understand how you can send order that you make physical damage. Second, it's more important. You need to understand that the control system is essentially competing with you as a hacker, because you have the server, you have the control room with all the engineering that understand 100% all the process, and you now you try to make any damage, and you know that they see everything. So you need to make a damage so quickly that they not have enough time to stop this attack. So first, we need to make the possibility to interact in physical process. Second, understand that the attack need to be very short time. And to do it, you need to understand the process. You need to take information, like in, for example, Wireshark, everyone knows Wireshark, to take information to understand the process and what you are going to make the damage. So the hacker understood this lesson and began to make more focus on special equipment or special manufacture. You don't want to say, I don't attack everything. I want to focus on Siemens, on Schneider, and to focus on this kind of PLC, okay, to understand the build, to design my attack. Okay, that is the first step. The second step that I understood, that you have CIS, as I told you, the CIS in the last step, and you need to understand that there are many controls that can stop your attack, but they know that no one makes segmentation in the lower level. No one makes this. See, this is difficult because you need to make segmentation not only in the layer, like in IT, you make VLAN from the employee, VLAN from the server. No, here you need to make a VLAN according to the kind of activity in this planet or for every PLC. So what's happened, that is the layer 1, layer 2, everything is flat. So now they understood they can move from one PLC to the second PLC. So now the hacker understood all this information and build the labs, okay? And here I want to show you some very smart malware. For example, the in controller is not so a few years ago, but every time is a new version of this kind. And first, in these tools, this malware include 3 independent tools. The first tools is to scanning the network in the smart way to understand what is the process from, for example, what software engineering equipment sent the order to the relevant PLC. Okay, to understand. So it actually make the first step of the connects of the hacking to understand if it's Modbus 1, Modbus 2, Modbus with encrypted, what is without encrypted, to learn the system. And they know that you have IDS, for example, but they know that usually most of the people put the IDS in normal level, no inside. The second tools actually make the damage. So let's say it communicates with all the device, and you make many tricks. For example, to make restart to the PLC. Why to make restart to the PLC? Because when the PLC will restart, it needs to send again the user and the password, and in this way, the malware can steal this information. So actually, also it tried to steal files from the engineering, because this file include many information about the architecture of the plant or the command that you can change. And the second tier, the home shell, its point is to send information outside, okay, by using HTTP and using the home run device, because the problem was in the home run device. So they divided for 3 targets, for 3 tools. 1, to collect all the information. Second, to make some damage and to understand everything. And third, actually to be the point to make the damage, because they've connected outside. So you can understand that to build something like this, they actually design Schneider Electric and the Omron element. So every organization, and they say that there's 18,000 or 20,000 organizations in the world now suffer from this problem. So then they suggest you, of course, to put some ideas because to see the anomaly, to make update. It's not easy to make update for Schneider Electric, the system, the PLC. Usually you make one update behind, but you can update the Windows, of course, to make this segmentation and try to hardening. So you can see how they design the tool. So you understand that they make a lab, they build a lab, a small plant to see how the attack works. And now the OT, because the OT control center don't understand this kind of attack, and the IT don't know nothing about all this PLC, everything. And he learned the information, he built everything, and he sent it from the IT outside, because even if you have diode give the information move from the OT to the IT, and in the relevant point, you can begin the attack. Now you can see other malware, it's called Triton. Triton is it's like, it's a virus that tries to attack your body. He understands that you have CIS in the organization. So you want to attack directly the CIS. See how much is smart, okay? Sorry for this, but usually sometimes I enjoy for the genius of the hackers. In this case, they say, okay, I understand that you have the CIS. I will attack the CIS. And then I want to attack the first PLC, the programmable, the PLC you have. And then he found two CV, high-level CV, that can enable him to attack the PLC of Schneider Electric. Why it's so important? Because now they can move in this layer 1 and they are beyond the firewall. So actually, when they have the first PLC, they can move to the second, to third, to fourth, to fifth, and to make a lot of damage. This kind of PLC usually is a nuclear, it's oil and gas, rainforest, and chemical plants. So you see that the hacker designed what they are going to attack, and they took the relevant equipment for this company, and they said that it take more than 1 year to create the malware. And then the malware was published in the free market. So in this case, I can receive smart tools to make very, very high damage. So you can see. What? The question?
Your motion will be different.
Okay, Ben, we hear you. Okay,
No, please
so this is,
continue.
okay, that is the second malware. Here is one of the way that you can attack, of course, is the segmentation make a lot of damage for a hacker to move from one PLC to second PLC. But also you have to open your mind all the time to this company to say if you have any new malware in the PLC, because usually PLC, you cannot send an update. It's very dangerous to update PLC. So you have something like in Cyber 2 to give you the defense about this. You need to be smart because usually, and of course, to make a lot of effort to hardening the computer, the workstation of the engineering, because they don't know, but they are the main target, because from their computer, you can attack and send a command for the PLC. So what can I do? For this, we have SANS.
Doron?
Yes, yes.
Hi. I'm just letting you know that you have 5 minutes left.
Okay, yes. Okay. I like to
Thank
speak, so it's good that you told me. Okay. Okay, so I finished. So SANS said the plan for what we need to do. First, no one do it to prepare incident response plan, because when you build this plan, you need to understand what is the critical process and to build the relevant things to protect them. To build, defensive architecture. For example, in the some attack, you can stop many services. I saw the new many use now IoT in the organization, and they use many port, FTP, TFTP, SSH. Perhaps you can stop it, and you don't need to use these smart tools in this PLC that you buy. Of course, the visibility and monitoring, security, remote access. Remote access is not so easy because sometimes you have many plants on the same organization and they are connected east-west, and then it's very difficult to block it, the remote access. And of course, to make risk-based vulnerability, so only to focus on the vulnerability that's relevant to your plants, not for everything. Here you can see, this is the last slide, that this is the new, this is a new malware, very smart, that is IIoT, it's called IO control. And IO control, as you know, level zero, now level zero became with the IoT, they have IP. So they need to make the connection to the layer 3 and then go to the SAS. But he used the MQTT, that is a normal protocol to use. So actually the firewall needs to be open. And then he attack, you see, add the layer, you can attack camera, router, HMI, PLC, and send the order outside. So what I want to tell you that this hacker became more and more smart, and the IIoT and Industry 4 give him more opportunities. But there is a plan that you can do this sense. There is a solution that Sneer show you, and you have what to do against this. That's all. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. That is my details. That's all. Sneer.
Thank you very much, Doron, for that great presentation. You are such an expert with cyber defense, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing your knowledge with us. I would like to take it to the next level, and I would like to give the mic to Erez Kaplan, the CTO of Cyber 2.0. Erez, can you please unmute yourself, open the camera, and it's time to think about solutions and not just attacks. So Erez, take it from here.
Thank you so much, Sneer. Let me share my screen. Okay, we were mentioned and we discussed on so far various attacks and attack scenarios that can be done both on OT and IT environments. What I will do today, after I will give you a short explanation about Cyber 2.0, I will give you a short demonstration about the blocking capability of Cyber 2.0 when they are in defense mode, and how we can effectively, and you will see it live, block and mitigate all of these attacks. But before we will see this demonstration that I have prepared for you, let us understand what Cyber 2.0 can do in order to block and mitigate the spread of cyber attacks inside your organization. It is important to note the main problem currently, as was said by many of the speakers before me, is the spread of cyber attack. Once an attacker has managed to gain a foothold inside your computer, inside your network, from there he will spread forward. He has multiple tools at his advantages. He can use various CVEs, exploit, and everything at his disposal to slowly spread and gain control over your network, whether it is other servers, whether it is PLC devices in OT and in IoT and in IT. Cyber 2.0 was designed at hand to mitigate precisely such type of attacks, where the other need to identify and recognize all of this attack. Cyber 2.0 can block it in 0 time by using its chaos engine without the need of disabling it, without the need of checking it, without the need of detecting it. What Cyber 2.0 brings to the table is the ability to block in 0 time without the need of detecting the spread of cyber attack inside your organization, even the unknown one, even if the hacker has managed to gain full domain IP privileges, even if he has a known CV at his disposal that allows him to gain full control of everything. How do we do it? The cyber engine works in a very, very simple way. Once the agent and the vortex that protects the OT is deployed inside your organization, In this demonstration, this page, you see an infected computer that was penetrated. And on the right side, you see an uninfected computer or device. When the chaos engine is activated, the approved software from a list that we have that we prepared in advance, I will explain about it in a few slides. Try to go out on the original port. The agent scramble all the known application only. In this scenario, 80 was turned into 10,000. On the other side, there is a reverse algorithm. The reverse algorithm changes everything back, and from the computer perspective, nothing has changed. So we scramble only what we know and acknowledge, and the computer received everything in the same order that they received it. From their perspective, nothing has changed. When an unknown, unwanted computer or application is trying to mitigate inside the organization, we don't do anything. Everything that we don't know, everything that we are not approving will go out on the original ports. 80 will remain 80, but once it reaches the other side, it will get descrambled into a garbage port, and the computer itself will discard it. Why is this scenario so powerful? Let's test this. You've got multiple ways that a hacker can bypass cyber defenses. He can bypass you completely, ignoring your defenses by injecting something into layer 2, attacking directly the processor, or not even being part of the operating system. A chip inside your computer, inside your PLC, a raw computer, or other software. Any such attempt will only cause it to go out on the original port like any other undetected software. 80 will remain 80, and when it reaches the other side, it will be descrambled and discarded. Less sophisticated hackers, which is the most common type, will try to disable the cyber defenses. If it managed to reach the first computer to gain a bridgehead, the first thing it will do before the defender will identify it is to disable the protecting software. He has kill commands, memory manipulation, rootkit attacks, and the list goes on forever. Disabling Cyber 2.0 will only give him the possible thing. All communication from that server will go unscrambled, and all communication will get blocked. It means that even if you disable Cyber 2.0 inside your organization, the affected computer will not be able to communicate, and all your network will still be fully protected. The hackers that come backed up by countries, by powerful organization, will try to change your defensive measure. They will change a DLL, add something to the firewall trust list, do the internal EDR structure, and this will allow them to move inside your organization as if they were part of the defense mechanism, while the defense mechanism will keep telling you that everything is okay. Attempting to change Cyber 2.0 in any of such manner and in multiple other ways will only result in the fact that this is a chaos-based platform. Any change will change the result of the algorithm. Even if you add yourself to the trust list, even if you change my DLLs, the change of the scramble algorithm will be dramatically changed, and this computer will again be blocked, and all the alarm will be notified that such a thing has changed the agent. It means that a more powerful attack, more easily detected, and still blocked in 0 seconds like all the other attacks. One of the most problematic attacks that remains was the chaining effect. A hacker can give an instruction to a legitimate software via a chain of commands, resulting in an attack that is made by a legitimate process. In order to mitigate it, and in order to create life easy for everyone, including the sysadmin, the users, and the administrator, Cyber 2.0 has developed the reverse tracking mechanism. It's part of the chaos engine, works hand to hand with it, and acts as a second layer, and from it, you can manage the entire allowed and unallowed processes. What it does essentially is every process that loads into memory is recorded. It records the hashes of every such process and the connection between such process and store them in a unique database. It means that you've got an active inventory of everything that was active from the moment Cyber 2.0 was active. From there, you can choose what you want to allow. You know the hashes of every day of everything that was ever active inside your organization. It means that if you are cyber, you can go to the system, check a hash, and you will immediately know if this hash is inside your system, when it was introduced, and the fact that it was never approved and was blocked, but you will know where, on which computer it was first blocked. And the third thing, this database is structured in such a way that allows the organization to maintain compatibility to multiple required regulation from both ISO and United States regulation, from ISO 2001, ISO 2701, HIPAA, PCI, and other regulation. This helps you mark a V in a lot of requirements. It means that this is good for the IT and management. This is good for cybersecurity, and this is good for the management itself. Saves a lot of money for regulation. So 3 V's on this structure, and from here you manage everything that is allowed on your organization extremely easily.
Erez, we look forward to seeing the demonstration.
Of course. Let me go without further ado to the demonstration. In the demonstration, I've prepared for you a network of 4 computers. What we will do now the entire network is unprotected. We have a test environment that we run various tests. And I will initiate a scanning of the unprotected network. You can see it will take up to 2 minutes. I will go over the stages. First thing, the scanning mechanism scans the entire network. It then finds the various computers. And then it starts scanning each of these computers' ports to identify the various...
Can you enlarge the screen?
No, I cannot. Let me see. But let me walk through it before, instead of changing option. No, I can enlarge the screen, sorry. But as you can see, it scans and finds every port on every computer. It gives me the ping, and then it starts identifying the various aspects of these computers. Some of the information goes on layer 2. We do not block everything on layer 2. But most of the info, layer 2 is the MAC address, the one that the switches use. Layer 2 communication is vital. You cannot interrupt layer 2. Firewalls don't interrupt layer 2. The only thing that interrupts it is our vortex. It's in front of a POC. And as you can see, it starts identifying and tell me everything in this network. It tells me SMB, which is file sharing if it's open. It tells me what type of computer and operation system it is. And it gives me a lot of other information, and it will soon file, and everything inside of it will be filled. Let us wait for a second. You can see the computer's name, which are on layer 2. You can see the MAC address on layer 2, and then the information that the hacker is targeting. The hacker is targeting the operating system. He's targeting the open ports. If I was a hacker, and I will have access to this type of information, I will know it has SMB 1 or 2 open. It has SMB 2 only open. I will know every port that is open. I will know everything I want to know on this computer. A type of operating system, OS bytes, Windows, what is opening on it, everything. So let's stop the scanning for a second, although it already scanned 73%. And let's see what happens when I try to send a defense program. I will now initiate the defense and will restart the scanning. Now the defense will be given to only 4 computers from this list. And you will see the difference on these 4 computers precisely as the scan is complete. So let me change. Yeah. Send the scan command. Thanks.
So you were scanning a network that was not in defense mode, showing exactly how you can scan and see everything within the network. That is amazing.
Everything is
Cyber 2.0. Now you're going to put Cyber 2.0 in defense mode on 4 computers within the network and see what happens, right?
Correct. Everything that the scanning system was find, it's what a hacker will do normally, give me an attack vector on this computer, the type of operating system, the type of basically everything here. Now I send the command. Let's take this scanning and put it here, and let's open a fresh scanning window. Let me wait for the command to initiate to everyone. 10 seconds. You can see on the screen in front of me here where the server resides what I see. So all computers are now in defense mode. We verify. Wait, one computer has a finger. So let's scan and see how it will respond to the 3 computers in defense mode. Starting scan now, and you will see the difference between the protected and the unprotected computer. It will identify the same computer. It will identify the MAC address because this is on layer 2. But let's see what happened to the protected computer afterwards. Mars is not protected, and Erez, these 2 servers are not protected. Sneer is also not protected.
So what can we see until now, Erez?
Now the computer is scanning, and we will see the 4 protected computers if we can find anything on them.
For example, I see that our computers that are reading scan done. What does it mean?
No, the computer that the scanner done, the unprotected one, is scanned them very, very easily. This one and this one. This is, for example, not scanned. And so are all the others. Let's let him finish and see what he will find or not find. And then I can explain deeply. You see, for example, this computer, one of the protected one. He doesn't know if it's the window. He can't find SMB. There is no information. He's not even sure that this is a Windows computer. Same goes for the other. He simply can't scan them at all now, and the information that he receives is unknown. SMB not found. He thinks that some of them are Linux instead of the normal one. The fact is that if you will compare it, the 4 computer to the other scan, if I was a hacker, this is the current scan, right? Sorry. This is the previous scan, and so you can see it detected everything about each of the computers. The other computer is now unknown. He has no way of identifying or accessing them, but the computer communicates freely with everything that is allowed for them to communicate. It's a closed network. They can communicate with the internet. You see, for example, Noah PC is here in the non-scan, and Noah PC here, where he detected everything about it. The credential, the processor, the workgroup, the name, the Windows, the operating system. In the scan, not found, not found. He suspects it's Intel. He can't identify it. Everything is unknown. If I was a hacker, I will be problematic. So we can see clearly that the protected computer cannot be scanned even, but they still operate completely normally. I can send and give them command. They can access the network freely. The same goes for the other protected computer like Omer. Unknown, it can sometimes give them attack set. Everything which is on layer 2, like the Mac, will be detected. Everything else, nothing. Unknown, unknown, unknown across the board. Now think that I'm a hacker and I'm trying to scan your network. Everything which is unprotected, I have full access. This server, for example, everything that is protected, there is nothing I can do. I don't even know what they are. I don't even know what the attack vector that I can use, and that's the first thing that a hacker can do. And if a simple scan failed, think what happened with more complex attack, because the first step of each attack is this scan. This scan is supposed to detect everything that is open on every part of the network. No one can stop a scan like this. It can block it completely if it's an external scan using a firewall, but once you are internally inside your network, you know everything. You know everything about everything that is inside this network. Operating systems, servers. Here I know nothing about the protected computer. They simply do not exist. No attack vector. The hacker is simply locked inside the first computer. Every cyber attack the spread of it is stopped in the first computer. The hacker simply lost. There is nothing that he can effectively do in order to bypass me, because he can't. It is as simple as that. Question, guys?
Thank you so much for the great presentation, Erez. It was very impressive to see that. I think this concludes the part of your presentation and demo. And before we open the mics and start the Q&A session, I would like to conclude today's webinar. So first of all, I would like to thank Doron Sivan, the CEO of Madsec. He had to go. He had some emergency things to do. But I would like to thank him for sharing with us and coming on top and giving us his presentation. I would like to thank you for giving a great presentation. And I would like to say, everyone, in conclusion, AI is here, and there are so many ways of attacks that we need to understand and we need to start worrying about. And this is what we say at Cyber 2.0. You cannot sit and you cannot think about that you're safe. Everyone is a target. Everyone is getting attacked. So basically, what we were trying to show you and what we were trying to tell you and share with you today is basically that everyone is vulnerable. Cyber 2.0 can give you a great edge, great advantage, because we are accessing, working, and checking all those problems all the time. We are investigating all the attacks that happen in every month, and we run them and see how we can stop, block them, and give an edge to a customer. Now, we must understand we live in a rising threat environment. The threat is rising, and it's going to continue to rise. And we need to start opening, listening, sharing, embracing, testing new technologies. The hackers do it anyway, and we need to do it as well ourselves. I would like to thank everyone. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. And I would like now to open the mic. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Or otherwise, let us conclude this May webinar and see you next month. So please, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. We have one question, Erez, for you within the chat. What if the infected computer has access to a file server? Will those files be compromised? You can see it in the chat. Thank you, Reuven, for that great question. Erez, do you want to answer it?
Yes, I do. This is a great question. Thank you for it. The answer is simple. Let's assume that your computer and the user on your computer has full domain admin privileges, the highest privileges possible, and you can access everything. Furthermore, you've got mapped drives and shared folder connected to your computer. The attacker has managed to reach your computer, managed to steal your credential, and now he tried to spread and infect and encrypt files over the network. If Cyber 2.0 is deployed in defense mode, you will be able to work freely. The attacker, no matter what privileges, what type of zero attack or whatever he will try to do, will not be able to gain access to shared folder, map drives, anything which is outside the physical boundaries of your computer. Even if you are now opening files actively, the hacker will not have access to them. The only way he can have access is if you will copy it to your desktop. The attacker will not be able to copy this file. He will not be able to do anything. Well, you will work freely. So no, if the computer has access to shared file, map drives and everything, the hacker or the program, the malicious program will not have access to them.
All right, thank you so much for that question. Thank you, Ruben. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah. If we are using our computer only as terminals to access the cloud environment like AWS or Azure, is this relevant for us?
Sorry?